You know that feeling? You wake up every morning feeling the heavy weight of a race that just never ends. You pour your entire soul into projects, right? Into creating and building, only to watch the world completely forget them by sunset. Honestly, it feels like you're screaming into a digital void that just resets itself every single night. You're exhausted from running as fast as you physically can just to stay in the exact same place. But listen, if that resonates with you, you're absolutely not alone. And more importantly, it's not a flaw in your work ethic. Here's the real issue. You don't actually have a work problem. What you have is a compounding problem. Think about it. Most online work simply disappears way too fast for it to ever truly matter. You create something today, people see it exactly once, and bam, it vanishes forever. This cycle causes everything to reset again and again with zero real progress. It's a brutal loop, really. You're not actually building, you're just constantly restarting. The uncomfortable truth we have to face is that you're doing work that stops producing value the literal second you stop touching it. So, welcome to this explainer on the architecture of systems. Today, we're going to completely shift your perspective. We're going to learn how to turn that exhausting manual labor into a compounding digital infrastructure. Because the people growing the fastest right now, they aren't just working harder than you are. No way. They're building systems where their work stays visible way longer and actually becomes reusable over time. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the daily digital reset and then how to fix the compounding problem. After that, we'll dive into finding predictable visibility, creating connected content ecosystems, eliminating friction, and finally, stacking your leverage for massive growth. Let's get right into it. Starting with Section 1, the daily digital reset and the brutal loop of starting over. 0. That is the exact baseline you are starting from every single morning if nothing carries forward. Every day looks identical, doesn't it? A new post, a new idea, a new attempt. You might sit there thinking you just need more effort, or maybe better ideas, or to just be more consistent. But actually, if you're constantly starting from absolute zero, well, no amount of effort is ever going to be enough to build real momentum. So what's the missing piece? It's a concept called system memory. Basically, system memory is the structural ingredient that allows your work to survive long enough to actually matter twice. It's what ensures that the effort you put in yesterday firmly supports your goals today. When your workflow has system memory, everything you create becomes a solid brick in a permanent structure, rather than just, a grain of sand blowing away in the wind. Moving on to Section 2, fixing the compounding problem by shifting your perspective. Let's break down the difference between manual labor and infrastructure. Manual labor is, well, where most creators live right now. It's all about guessing what the world wants, resetting daily, and pouring in linear effort just to create a bit of temporary noise. But guessing is just randomness disguised as effort. One video might pop off, while 5 others completely disappear into the digital graveyard. Nothing stacks and nothing builds when you're just relying on luck. Infrastructure, on the other hand, is where you align with actual market signals, compound your efforts over time, and build reusable assets. Once you make this mental shift, your work stops behaving like exhausting effort and starts behaving like real infrastructure that supports your life. And that is exactly where real leverage begins. All right, on to Section 3, finding predictable visibility by aligning your output with demand. This principle is absolutely crucial. It's all about aligning your creative output with existing market demand, rather than just waiting for random inspiration to strike. We have to stop asking what we want to upload and start asking what already has active demand. By actually analyzing search volume, click behavior, and rising topics, your growth becomes entirely predictable. When you create content based on active signals instead of just guessing, a single piece of content stops being a temporary post. It transforms into a long-term traffic asset that brings you views and trust for months or literally years. You're no longer pushing a boulder uphill against the wind. Instead, you're aligning with the natural flow of human interest. Next up is Section 4, creating connected content ecosystems, which is driven by structural multiplicity. Think about this. Inside every single strong idea you have, there are hidden assets. Most people severely underuse their content because they only extract one single version of it. They turn one idea into one post and boom, it stops there. But inside that one idea, you've got hidden explanations, reusable hooks, and completely alternative angles. If you aren't utilizing these, you are leaving massive leverage on the table. Why? Because manual extraction takes immense effort, and that effort is usually what completely kills your consistency. So, to bypass all that massive effort of manual extraction, we use systems. You can take a core idea, generate keyword clusters around it, build out multiple SEO pages, and neatly interconnect them. By building these connected content ecosystems, you're turning one shot into multiple entry points. While social media content resets every single day, search-based content actually compounds over time. This structured system allows a single idea to generate leads and traffic for years without you ever having to touch it again. I mean, it is the ultimate form of creative leverage. Let's dive into Section 5, Friction, Elimination, and Momentum, or how to remove the bottlenecks. Now, there is a silent problem out there that makes you feel hopelessly stuck. We call it restart friction. Every single time you sit down at your desk and ask yourself, okay, where did I stop? Or what should I do now? You're losing focus. It is definitely not laziness. It's the sheer exhaustion of rebuilding context and struggling to re-enter your flow state every single morning. But by building systems that carry your momentum forward, you completely eliminate this friction. You stop desperately chasing progress, and instead, you just continue something that is already in motion. To beat that friction, we rely on iterative momentum. The truth is, most projects fail before they even begin because they're critically under-tested. Attention is fickle. People respond so differently to various frames and emotions. You simply can't rely on one single headline or one visual. By using systems to instantly generate and test multiple variations, like alternative hooks or entirely different emotional angles, you learn so much faster from the market. The real constraint on your growth isn't a lack of creativity, it's your iteration speed. Testing faster means learning faster and wasting way fewer hours on ideas that were honestly never going to work.